in the show about splitting off certain types of Trump coalition folks that aren't this true MAGA believers. And there's this interesting video by YouTuber Too Lazy to Try. That's the number 2 lazy to try on YouTube. A video entitled "Joe Rogan's Friends Won't Stop Roasting Elon Musk," and I just think this might be
This guy, Tim Dillon, still have some people I grew up with that are, friends that are conservative. They all love this guy, Tim Dillon.
Right, yep.
Okay, so this is the only thing I know about him. They like Shane Gillis, who I actually think, for a conservative, is pretty funny. I don't know much about
I don't think he's super conservative. I think he said some problematic stuff
in the past. Whatever. He's pretty funny. But
he is funny, yeah.
But this guy, I don't know much about.
He's adjacent to a lot of comedians. I like the Stav sort of stuff. But I saw him interview Candace Owens and thought less of him for that. But this stuff is funny.
People listen to these guys a lot. So the more mockery...
People listen to people. So this is where I'm a little indifferent. Look, everybody's not going to agree with everything. I'm not a label person. You could call me a classic liberal if you see. I'm a classic constitutionalist. I'm sorry, I'm just not a label person. So people could talk to whoever they want to. Look, I would love to have an amazing conversation with Emma. She probably would find some of my positions, against her, which really they're not, I'm all about people getting the best that they can get in America. But in the meantime, this clip is Emma Vigeland roasting Joe Rogan because apparently his friends are turning their back on him. So let's see what's going on.
Of the right that we can get.
Elon also never even denied doing it. He's just again,
talking about the Nazi salutes.
With the Nazi stuff, but of course, who did deny it for him? Joe Rogan. Of course, he'll jump at any opportunity to defend Elon and embarrass himself. And it's funny, he said people only believe it was a Nazi salute because it fits their narrative, but it sounds like most of his friends believe that, and it kind of goes against their narrative. I mean, Shane Gillis, his reaction was like, I know I'm supposed to defend that, but that's a tough one. And it seems like most of Rogan's comedian friends mocked Elon for it, and they thought his response to it was also really bad. So I give him credit here for having their own opinions and not just going along with what they know Rogan would want them to say, because this also just shows how Rogan will shamelessly defend anything Elon does, even if it makes him look completely ridiculous.
But all these people on Twitter are just chiming in saying it's clearly a Nazi salute. He's doing a Nazi salute. Yeah. No.
So dumb. All this gesture means is Heil Hitler. This is all this gesture means.
It's so dumb.
It's not clearly.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. But that's a sign of the times, and they couldn't help it. They saw a thing, and they're like, this is the thing. We're going to run with it.
But toss him a fucking... Yeah, that was crazy.
That's Gillis.
Not that much. That's not an inauguration. That's political rally. And then being like, oh my God, enough with the Nazi stuff, dude. It's like, that was wild. That was a close one.
Well, fascism is real, folks. Here it is. My heart goes out to you.
Oh, you didn't do it, though. You didn't do it.
Wait, pause it. You didn't do it. You didn't move your hands. You've got to tilt it a little.
It's because everyone knows what it is, or at least resembles. And despite the rise of fascism in America, Nazism is very unpopular.
So the thing is, I did think this was a waste of time to get worked up about with Elon Musk. I think that we have bigger fish to fry where Elon Musk is concerned, and the majority report does call out, the stuff with Doge. By the way, have we heard about Elon Musk? When is the last time you heard about anything that has to do with Elon Musk? Like, when is the last time? Because I haven't. Because they're moving away from Elon. You could tell the administration is already moving away from Elon. I mean, this is good to bring up. Because now when the administration moves away from Elon, but what is Joe Rogan going to do? I mean, but that's still his friend. So that is his friend. But there was a point that Tim Dillon actually made, because I did hear some of this, and I wonder if they get to it, because if this whole episode is about that Dad wants to loot, and I'm going to be annoyed because Tim Dillon made a really good point, and they missed it. Tim Dillon made the point that people aren't, Elon is talking about going to Mars. Doesn't feel like populism. Because the populace is not worried about going to Mars. They're worried about the knee surgery they can't afford. Stuff like that. And I don't mean to, make everybody sound poor or something, but it's true. Like, some of these thoughts are like, what, why? I believe in technological advances. I do, but it's gone a little too. No, really, Elon is there to centralize the money system, and if you know, you know. But like, let's see if they at least move past that. I'm upset they didn't play that clip. It was a good take that Tim Dillon had on Elon Musk.
A different result. He wasn't expecting confusion and smattering of applause. He was expecting a roar.
Because he's so online, this 4chan Nazi Groiper, like post-truth crap that these right-wingers are engaging in.
They're not even engaging in that because they, look, there's a lot of psyoping going around, and I'll tell you this, conservatives are still, disavowing Nick Fuentes. So we could even move on from that. But they are. So let's see if, my gosh, like, why stay stuck on this, man? Like, I'm telling you, like, it's.
And also, I mean, they replace their audience with like reactionaries. A lot of people, especially on the right, will tell you that they don't like a comedian until he gets accused of a sex crime. Then suddenly, like, Russell Brand is their favorite comedian. And you're like, oh, because I mean, I don't like stand-up comedy that much anymore. But back in the early 2000s, like, I liked the Chappelle Show. And I'm not a fan anymore, but I'm sure my place has been taken by like some like right wing guy who like likes the way he talks about trans people. And so
that's man, what a good episode this could have been, but they really kind of destroyed it. I mean, they did. I mean, we could have went, hey, look, like this could have went so many good ways. Nor am I going to even. I'm still going to put this out though, right? But that was them. Like the whole tip about. Joe Rogan's friends turning on him. They're not turning on him. But that's pretty much it. We'll leave it there. This would be a short clip. I usually don't like doing short clips, but we'll leave it as a short clip because, like I said, like some of this stuff is like, oh, they're just trying to get right-wingers to like their jokes. Dave Chappelle said stuff about trans. Look, I am not 23, okay? I am 40 years old. Everybody got roasted in third grade. Everybody got roasted, so, and I'm not going to be the person to speak against roasting people. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.